In a peaceful cottage nestled at the edge of a whispering forest lived a kind-hearted young woman named Cinderella. Each morning, as golden sunlight filtered through the leaves, she would tend to her little garden, humming softly to herself while gentle breezes carried the sweet scent of wildflowers through the air. Cinderella had a special gift that made her days feel magical. She could understand the quiet language of all the forest creatures. Her dearest friends were a family of soft gray mice who lived beneath the garden steps, a gentle dove who nested in the old oak tree, and a wise old rabbit with fur as silver as moonlight. Every evening, as the sun painted the sky in soft shades of pink and purple, Cinderella would sit in her garden, sharing stories with her animal friends. The mice would gather around her feet, their tiny whiskers twitching as they listened. The dove would coo softly from her perch, and the wise rabbit would rest beside her, ears gently swaying in the evening breeze. One particularly peaceful evening, as stars began to twinkle overhead like scattered diamond dust, Cinderella shared her dream of attending the royal garden party. The palace gardens were said to be the most beautiful in all the land, filled with flowers that bloomed by moonlight and fountains that sang soft lullabies. The forest friends, who loved Cinderella dearly, decided to help make her dream come true. The mice gathered soft fallen feathers from the dove's nest, while the rabbit collected the most delicate moonflowers that grew deep in the forest. The dove flew far and wide, finding shimmering dewdrops that sparkled like tiny stars. Night after night, while Cinderella slept peacefully in her bed, her friends worked together in the gentle moonlight. The mice used their clever paws to weave the feathers into the softest, most beautiful dress anyone had ever seen. The rabbit lined the hem with moonflowers, and the dove carefully placed the dewdrops so they would catch the light like diamonds. On the night of the garden party, as the moon rose full and bright in the velvet sky, Cinderella's friends presented their gift. Tears of joy sparkled in her eyes as she hugged each one of them. The dress felt as light as a cloud around her, and when she twirled, it seemed as though she was dancing with starlight itself. The wise old rabbit knew of a special path through the forest that led straight to the palace gardens. As Cinderella walked along it, fireflies floated beside her like tiny lanterns, lighting her way. The soft moss beneath her feet cushioned each step, and the evening breeze whispered encouraging words through the leaves. When she arrived at the palace gardens, everyone was enchanted by her gentle presence. She moved through the flowering paths like a dream, sharing her knowledge of plants and animals with anyone who asked. The prince himself was drawn to her kind heart and the way she stopped to thank each butterfly that danced past. As the evening grew late and the stars twinkled even brighter, Cinderella and the prince sat beside a moonlit fountain. He told her about his own love for the garden and how he spent each morning feeding the palace doves. She smiled, knowing her own dove friend would be delighted to hear this. Time passed like gentle waves on a peaceful shore, but Cinderella knew she must return home before the moonflowers in her dress closed their petals for the night. The prince asked if he might visit her garden someday, and she happily agreed, knowing her forest friends would welcome him, just as they had welcomed her so long ago. On her walk home through the forest, the fireflies once again lit her path. The night air was filled with the soft songs of crickets and the gentle rustling of leaves. Her heart felt as light as a feather, floating on waves of happiness and peace. When she reached her cottage, all her animal friends were waiting. The mice danced in circles around her feet. The dove cooed a sweet melody, and the wise rabbit nodded contentedly. Cinderella gathered them all close and told them about her magical evening as the moon continued its gentle journey across the star-filled sky. From that night forward, Cinderella's garden became a gathering place for all who loved peace and beauty. The prince visited often, always bringing seeds for new flowers and treats for the animals. Together, they created a haven where anyone could come to share stories, make friends with the forest creatures, and find the same gentle magic that had brought them together. As the seasons passed like soft clouds drifting across the sky, Cinderella's garden grew more beautiful with each passing day. The mice had many babies who learned to weave flower crowns. The dove taught young birds to sing sweet lullabies, and the wise old rabbit shared ancient forest secrets with anyone who would listen. And so, in this peaceful corner of the world, where moonflowers bloom and forest friends gather, Cinderella found that the truest magic comes not from grand parties or sparkling dresses, but from the gentle love shared between friends, the soft whispers of nature, and the quiet moments when all the world seems to be wrapped in starlight and dreams.